Right, so I had said I might be doing 2 plantings today. That's actually not happening because I am disorganized. But we are doing one, and that is going to be a, hopefully, Dendrocalamus. So a while ago I was given a couple of seedlings of a bamboo that was just sold as a giant bamboo to a friend of mine, and I have my doubts initially as to what they were, but I actually have seen a Dendrocalamus growing just up the road from us, and it's growing really well, actually, because a couple of years ago I was aware of it, but I thought it was just one of the green Bambusa, and it is now double the height of any of the Bambusa in the area, so it's definitely a Dendrocalamus, and it's got that very distinctive, more upright growth form of the Dendrocalamus, and that's very much the same soil, very much the same conditions as we're in here, so hopefully this will actually do well, and hopefully this will turn out to be Dendrocalamus, not Oxyacanthra or one of the other green stem bamboos. We're going to be putting this into a tiered hole, not because I don't need it deep, because I do want a well of water underneath, but because the bamboo doesn't. The bamboo's roots will generally be quite shallow, they aren't really going to be heading down, so they don't need the depth, but I do want a well underneath to fill with water, and I also want the depth to put the marker plant, which is going to be a Dracaena fragrans, in. Once that's in, we're going to be putting the bamboo, and we're going to be putting it a little lower than I'd put a lot of other trees. You can actually bury the stems of bamboo quite deep, and they really don't mind. They'll just often root from further up segments than they would have done to begin with, but also it just means that I can create a little bit of a shallow indentation here, and that means that while this is small, while this is tender, I can be flooding it quite well and giving it a little bit more water than I could if it was on flat ground without that running off. The other companion plants are ones that I am not particularly attached to because they will be swamped by this. The Dracaena I can propagate away, and we're going to be putting in an agave angustifolia, I think, which is the sword-leafed agave, which is one of the rather short seasoned ones. So this should be about 6 or 7 years before this flowers and then these individual ones die. So probably if it can last that long, it will be very easy to then move the bulbils away rather than having to move the original one away. Quite possibly by then the bamboo will be a bit too big for this agave to do well, but quite often as they start to sort of thin, they can be quite easily dug up and moved. But in the meantime, these will spread out, thicken out, act as a fire break while the bamboo is getting established. And then finally we're going to be putting a piece of the Opuntia ficus indica, and we're actually not going to be burying this because I cut this today, so I'm just going to be leaning it on the Dracaena, and I've scraped a piece of earth so it should root quite well into that, and it should act as a nice shelter against the afternoon sunlight, because that is going due west of our little bamboo, and it's completely shading it out from anything that's going to hit it in the afternoon at the moment. And that should be everything for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you haven't enjoyed it, thank you for watching anyway. Please tune in again tomorrow, because I will be planting something else. I don't know what yet. Hopefully 2 things, if I manage to get some more things, but we will see.